What's up, guys? We're back here in Archeworld. Let's talk about the state of the game. Is the game dying as a lot of people want you to believe? Well, let's look at some data and I'll give you my thoughts on this. I personally do not believe that the game is dying. I personally believe the same thing that I've always believed is that free-to-play players mean nothing to the game. Free-to-play players do not matter at all to the ecosystem of Arcworld. And I've said this ever since the beginning of the server, pre-server, alpha, so forth, right? You can look at a bunch of old videos. What we're seeing though, there are a population decline. There is no doubt about it. The amount of housing that is available in the lands is growing rapidly. This is actually a pretty full area over here for housing. But you'll notice if you run around housing zones, you'll see a lot of empty spots. There's just a lot of people that have abandoned their houses, in part because houses got harder to earn. They took away the blue salt stars for red Archeum, which means to earn from a house, you have to have a Lumina. And the Lumina then produces blue Archeum, and from there, you can go ahead and turn that into a blue salt star, or you can sell it to other players. So the Lumina also requires a boat. The boat requires more investment. So players were very upset about this. There was no simple like click log in, get my rewards and log out. You needed to do more activities to get the same kind of rewards. And also on top of that, the token price has been in a free fall decline for the last several weeks. We're down to about 7.5 cents right now for the token price. So what is going on though? Why do I personally think that the game is safe and doing a good job if there's people leaving in droves, right? If house plots are opening up, land NFTs are at the cheapest of all-time prices, gear NFTs are at the cheapest of all-time prices. We go ahead and take a look at the auction house here. We'll be able to see that you can pick up some gear dirt cheap, right? So let's pull up the auction house, go 6 tier, see if there's any 6 tier on here. So no 6 tier on the North America server. There's actually some 6 tier gears on the Asia server, and they're around 19,000 to 29,000 for +8 6 tier gears. So incredibly cheap for the +8s. But for tier 5 on the North America region, you're seeing right around 1,200, 1,300 BSLT for a couple of these, and then it jumps up to 1,700. You're seeing 18, 1,900, and so forth. For tier 4, the prices are really, really cheap, almost near the all-time lows once again. They're currently hovering around 50 to 60 to 70 BSLT for most pieces of armor. So, Jason, what is wrong with you? Everything is going down. Why are you bullish on the game? Why do you think the game is still going strong? Well, I like to look at other data as well. So Archeum. This is essentially like the lifeblood of the game. And you can see the price of 10,000 shards is still 18 or 19, sometimes 20 BSLT. And you'll notice that the amounts sold hasn't really changed. So it went down a little bit yesterday to 14 at the lowest, but it's still millions of Archeum being bought and sold every single day. All right? So that's one big data point. The next big data point that means a lot to me is the Shadowguns. So Shadowguns, I want to specifically look at the heroic Shadowguns, and there's none actually for sale on the auction house. Okay? So let's go check out what they're actually selling for. So we're going to go on to the Arcanes. We're going to see 317, 320. We can check the sales history. So Arcane sales are going down about 20 per day. A little bit of spikes here and there, but that is still a very healthy amount of Arcane sales going on, right? So to check for the Shadowgun Heroic, we're going to go over here, Shadowgun and Heroic. And we're going to see what high-end players are doing. Look at this. There's actually a lot of heroic crystals that have been sold. If you remember correctly, you know, a month or two ago, there was maybe 1 or 2 of these Shadowgun crystals being sold. And now, in this 2-week period, we have 2, 3, 3, that's 8, 9, 3, 12. We're at 14. 3 more. It's 17. That's 18. 18 Shadowguns sold, and they're all above 3,000 BSLT. So high-end weapons and armors, these Shadowgun Heroic Crystals, are selling, and they're actively selling more and more and more. Which means the top-end players are actually gearing up and making Tier 6 weapons and armors, right? You want to see another data point on this, we can go look into the gear rankings. So if we look into the rankings, we can see previous rankings for last week to see what was last week. We have Ustan, who is growing in power. He's actually 24,000 gear score now, and he's actually pumped his entire staff to max grade. So he filled this thing up with around 7 or 8 million Archaea. So he is still pumping in lots of money to this game. He's also got another tier 6 illustrious right here. So millions and millions of Archaea. Like, he is getting stronger. He wasn't 24,000, last week. He was weaker than that, right? And also, the gear score rankings are still going up. We're at 17,000 now for the top 100 leaderboards. The top 100 players are constantly getting stronger. They're constantly improving their gear. So Spell is at 22,000 right now, right? You take a look at his gear. Max grade on that. Very close to max grade on that. And these people are making their gears +8. So Sisman, who there was a big announcement that he's like, oh, I'm quitting. But look, he's actually gotten stronger. So I don't think he's quitting, guys. Sisman's at 21,700 gear score. So the top end players, the players that are actually paying money to play the game, are still here, and they're still paying money to play the game. They're still enjoying Archeworld's content. They're still getting stronger and progressing. So yes, the free-to-play players are leaving. Some players that had land, lots of land, are leaving. Personally, we can take a look at my land. I actually bought more land. So you can see these are all the lands that we have here. Like, you can look at the map. I'm actually buying more land because the prices are so cheap. And again, I believe in the future of the game. So with the high-end players sticking around and playing it out, I believe that this is a future for the game. I believe these players will keep the game alive because, as always, as I said before multiple times, the top 100 players pay millions of dollars. The free-to-play players, by definition, pay nothing, which do not keep the lights on. XL Games is a game company, and they're for profit. They're trying to make money. If they do not make money, the game goes down. But if the whales are happy, if they are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars, the game stays on. It does not matter if the server has 20 people on it or 50 people on it. It can be a small amount of player base. But if those players are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars, the game will stay on. And as of now, all the big whales are still essentially here. On Asia, there may be one or two that has decided to leave or quit. We saw some tier 6 weapons and armors being sold over there. But there's reports of a lot of players actually staking 100,000 BSLT to get the tier 5 Arc Life reward. So, they're putting more money into the game, right? They bought that 100,000 BSLT. They staked it for Arc Life to get these rewards, to get probably essentially the combat level 3 is the most important one here. 4,000 more HP, some reduction. But it's crazy, right? Like, these people are still enjoying the game. They're throwing money at it. If they were not enjoying the game, they would not be throwing money at it. The people that are selling land, no one's really buying land, right? So the land NFT holders and owners are kind of getting screwed right now. No one's buying it. The value of the land is really, really low. But I think there's an opportunity there to scoop up some really, really cheap land. we're seeing land prices, next to nothing, man. Like, let's go take a look at this. So I think the small lands are down to about 60. The medium lands are down to about $120. Yeah, so 121 Matic here for a small land. $62.89 for the lowest. And there's a whole bunch, right? There's a lot of land for sale at that price. Like, again, mediums are around 230 or 240 BSL or Matic. Like, there's a lot of people that are in the panic mode of selling land. So with this, I think what happened is too many landowners had 30 or 40 or 50 lands, and they were not able to make all of those boats. They were not able to get the blue Archeum that they needed to convert it into blue salt stars, which means they have to sell their things at a loss. And this is, in my opinion, obviously, this is just my thoughts and opinion, this is the worst time to be selling. When everyone is panic selling, heading for the door, I think this is the worst time to be selling. I think you should be selling when there's euphoria on the streets, when everyone is super hyped and excited and thinks the game's going to, the moon, and, prices are going up and up and up. We haven't seen prices go up for a long time, especially on lands or the BSLT token, but I do think there will be a turnaround eventually. And the token price, we've talked about this. I think the token price is going down because of the lockup period. There was 30 million tokens that got distributed. There was a 1-year lockup period. It happens every single year. There's bonuses for employees. And I think that is what's causing havoc because the liquidity pool is so small. So you see sales, like there's not that much volume. There's not that many buyers at these prices. So the prices just keep going down and down and down. Eventually, you'll hit a bottom. There is utility in these lands. So you get these items for the game. At this point, this is the best time for a new player to jump into Archeworld. It is the cheapest it's ever been to jump into Archeworld and to start this game. And the earnings are still pretty good. Like right now, you can jump in Archeworld and you can buy some gear. So buy your tier 4 weapons and armors, right? So it's going to cost you around 50 per piece. You get 2 weapons, 7 armors. So you're looking at 500 BSLT, give or take. And now with 500 BSLT in your gear, that puts you around 14,000 gear score. And you can go and kill ancestral monsters, and you can go ahead and farm Archeum. You can farm the Archeum Shards. You can also join up with a guild and a raid and join in the raid parties if the raids are still going on right now. Like, because the raids drop boxes and pouches, and they drop incomplete Archeum Shards. So incomplete Archeum Shards are incredibly valuable. And some people are complaining, yes, the bots are taking over all the farming grounds. You cannot farm there. So let's go over to the farming grounds and check it out and see how bad it really is right now. Oh yeah, there's a new little portal book too. So for the Arc Life, you can actually pick up a new portal book. We're going to show off the Cherry Blossom portal right here. It's not as cool as I thought it would be, but definitely something to check out. Okay. So let's go to Hell Swamp, because Hell Swamp is the easiest area to actually farm Ancestrals now, since they put Eagles in the other zone. Alright, so I think it's there. Yep. So Hell Swamp will get you around Ancestral level 3 and Ancestral level 4 monsters. And if you cannot solo a monster, right, get a friend. So here's the portal, what it looks like. So this doesn't really look cool there, but if you go in the sideways view, you can see the flowers coming out. But yeah, so if you cannot solo, and especially you're trying as a free-to-play player, get a friend, get a buddy, bring someone with you. And 2 people will be able to kill a monster. You do have to worry about PvP, because this is a PvP game. Obviously, other players are going to be farming as well, and they're going to want the loot. They're going to want the spots. So you can make friends with other people. You could try to join up or party with them. You could interact with them. Or you could simply leave and come back at a different time, or look for a different farming location. So in Halsey, you can still try to farm a little bit, but there's eagles that are going to kill you. So it's very wise to just come over here, check out this area, the Halcyano hideout, and look for a spot to farm. Farm, all you need is one monster, right? One little mob is all you need. Farm that monster, get the Hearthstone pouches, rinse, repeat. It's not an easy job, right? Because again, you are fighting other players. So you see that spot right there is taken, but look. We've got one mob there, two mobs there, three mobs there, four. We have 4 or 5 mobs here just standing around doing nothing. So you could kill one of these monsters. Sure, the other people here may come over and PvP you, may kind of fight you, but no one's taking these monsters right here. We didn't have to look very hard. This is just right in the very beginning. There's a whole little camp over here in a lot of different spawns. And again, you simply need one monster. Right? One monster is all you need to farm. You don't need to be farming 10 monsters. When you're only at 14,000 gear score, you're not going to be really AoE farming. These guys are going to hit tough. But don't give me that bullshit where there's no spots to farm. You just simply don't want to work for it. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you got any questions or comments, post them down below. Love to hear from you guys.